everybody. Today is Thursday, what day is it? 13th. I've been having a rough couple days, just kind of feeling a very big lack of motivation, and also kind of like feeling stagnant with my reading. And considering that I am in the middle of 3 different readathons this month, I figured a good way to kind of bring some life to my environment and to kind of perk up a little bit is I'm going to be reorganizing my office and my bookshelves today. I've been wanting to do a bookshelf reorganization for a while, but I've decided to actually rearrange my shelves as well. I have a general idea of what I want to do. Basically, it's moving this guy over beside my desk here and pulling all of these books out against the wall and putting my reading chair on this side of the room. That way it makes it easier for me to actually, read the books because I'll have light from outside coming in. I won't be reading against the light, which has been very annoying with my chair right there. And it'll also just be a way to open up the room a little bit because it's a little crowded in here right now. But yeah, I'm going to take you guys along with it and show you my process of reorganizing and redoing this room. But I just wanted to come on here and say hi and start the vlog. I'm currently reading These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong as a part of Asian Readathon. I'm in the second week of the month, so it's kind of like my awkward in-between time for readathons because I have Asian Readathon going the entire month. Pop Culture Readathon starts in 3 days on the 16th and goes till the end of the month, and then Do the Thingathon starts on the 24th till the end of the month. So this week I'm kind of in between because I finished all the books I was planning on reading in the first 2 weeks of May and the first 4 days. So yeah, just reading that as a place filler. But it also just counts as another book for Asian Readathon that I've been very much wanting to read. So I'm gonna get ready right now because I feel like putting on a little bit of makeup because I want to feel less frumpy. I'm gonna pick something to watch, probably Survivor, because I've been watching Survivor on Paramount Plus for the last couple days. I'm on season 10. I restarted Survivor this time last year, and a lockdown in Ontario just got extended for another couple weeks, so it's going until June 2nd now. I figured it was a good time to start back up with Survivor. Anyway, I'm gonna get everything ready to go, and then I will update you guys once I've made a little bit of progress. Wish me luck, and I'll see you soon. Okay, hello. So I'm gonna start with taking all of the books off the shelves. I'm going to try and organize them based off of what I worked out in my head last night. What I'm thinking is that this shelf is going to stay my TBR shelf, and it's just going to move over there, so it's completely separate, out of the way. As I read books on this shelf, and hopefully don't just keep replacing them, and I get more room, I'm going to start incorporating more school stuff, like my binders and my old work and workbooks and stuff like that on the bottom shelves, just because it's right next to my desk, so it might help alleviate some of the clutter that has built up on there as well. But otherwise, I'm going to be moving the skinny shelf at the end over here, and I'm going to make that my middle grade shelf. Then one of these shelves is going to be classics, nonfiction, literary fiction, which is basically this shelf here. One shelf is going to be adult romance, thrillers, and historical fiction, I believe. And then one of the big shelves is going to be all YA, contemporary fantasy mostly, sci-fi, graphic novels, all that kind of stuff. So that's my general plan. I'm going to try and separate them all out by genre and see how many books I have in each section, and then I can work on it from there. But yeah, let's get going. everybody, it is much later. It is like 10 o'clock and I'm just getting back to it. Everything's rearranged, as you can see. I have 4 of my shelves in a row on this back side and my reading chair in the corner there. And then here I already filled out this. It is my new TBR shelf. It was just the one that was up against the wall, so now it just lives there. Here are all of my red books that now need to go up here. I'm trying out a new organization, I think, and so I will tell you how it goes as I go along. But yeah, wish me luck. I'm about to try and figure it out. I'm thinking, because the biggest amount of books that I have is young adult. Here, let me put you up here so I can just talk to you. The biggest amount of books that I have is young adult fantasy. That's like massive. I do have a good selection of like adult books as well. So I'm thinking what I want to do. My skinny shelf in the corner is going to be all middle grades. I have all my Harry Potter books on one of my lamp shelves right next to me because they all fit so perfectly there. And it just looks really nice, and that way they're not like hidden up in a corner, because they still do mean quite a bit to me despite me not supporting J.K. Rowling anymore because she's a TARF and we hate that. But they're still very special to me and a very big part of my childhood, so I don't want to get rid of them. So they're just in a place where I can see them, but they won't be in the background of videos or anything. Wait for a car to go by. I'm going to try and do one shelf that is like adult fantasy, adult romance, and thrillers. I think those will be a good category to have, and historical fiction. I want to do one shelf that's entirely YA, so YA fantasy, YA contemporary, YA dystopia, middle grade, all that kind of stuff. And then I want to do one shelf that is probably going to be this shelf right here. That's going to be classics, literary fiction, and like nonfiction, other kind of things, like lit fic and fancy is what I'm calling it in my brain. Again, you guys are balancing on my TBR shelf, which is now nice and separated from the rest of them, and it makes me very happy. And then I've got a bunch of knickknacks to try and find spaces for, so still got a ways to go, but let's get to it, shall we? Good morning, all. So it's the next morning because I finished reorganizing at like midnight last night, so I didn't really have the energy really to film an overview, but I thought I would give that to you now. I'm so happy with this right now. Like, I can't really describe it. I'm so happy we did this. I'm so grateful for Tyler for helping me out, and I just feel so much better about my office. So let me give you a quick overview. So when you walk in, first is my Amsterdam picture that I got from IKEA when I was like 15. And then when you come in, this is what it looks like now. So that blue chair is my reading chair, and that used to be in like this corner over here, but it was super congesting the room. Like, it made it really difficult for me to walk through and to like access my desk, all that kind of stuff. And it was just really cluttered feeling. So I changed it and I moved it over there. The bookcase that held my TBR that was here is now over here. I'm so pumped about it. I finished the TBR first. That was my last update, I think, last night. But basically the general consensus is that this top shelf here are thrillers and mysteries with like a couple fantasies, just my Neil Gaiman stuck at the top. And then here is the first of the fantasy shelves, second fantasy shelf, third fantasy shelf, and then down here are my middle grades and young adult contemporaries, and then adult romance and the start of my historical fictions. At the bottom here are more historical fictions, and then my nonfiction and classics. Moving on to the wall now, I moved the skinny shelf in the corner over there that used to be in this corner over to the end because I knew my chair was going to be blocking off a few shelves, so I'll start over here. This is my little middle grade shelf. So at the top there, I have some assorted middle grades. Next up is the first Rick Riordan shelf, and that holds my Trials of Apollo, Kane Chronicles, and Magnus Chase books. And then here, there's nothing in the bottom shelves there, but here's my Percy Jackson shelf. So it has my Percy Jackson books, my Heroes of Olympus books, and then I also just have Arisha and the End of Time, which is a Rick Riordan Presents book by Roshni Chokshi that just fit the space perfectly, so I stuck it there. The next shelf over is my adult shelf. So this is very varied, but it's my most full shelf. Up top, there's some YA up here, but this is just how it worked out, basically. I have my historical shelf, so it starts off with historical fantasies, historical mysteries, historical romance. Moving down a level, this is my adult fiction shelf. It has a lot of extras on it, just because I haven't read a lot of my adult fiction. Most of it is still on my TBR. Next up is my Sarah J. Maas shelf, just because I have so much Sarah J. Maas, she gets her own shelf. Next up is my adult romance section, which is also quite small, and that's where I hold my bookmarks in that little cup. And then to the right are all my graphic novels, because they fit in that space perfectly. Next up, down here is the first of my thriller shelf, and then down below is more thrillers. The ones in the corner, they're the ones that are either ugliest or not the favorites. Moving over again, I have my YA shelf. This one is actually strictly YA. So the top is YA fantasy series, more YA fantasy series, absolute favorites, and again, series. And then the bottom here are smaller paperbacks or books series where I only have the first book. And then the bottom here is really mishmash. So here is some paranormal and urban fantasy, YA contemporary, sci-fi, dystopia, a bunch of everything. Oh yeah, also 2 sci-fis. There are only 2 sci-fis I own right there. And then the last big full bookcase is my fancy books is what I'm calling it. Up top, I have my nonfiction, then I have some children's lit and my Pride and Prejudice collection. Next up are my collectible editions, so I have the RSC Modern Library editions, the Oxford Classics, and Penguin Classics. I also have my Beetlejuice wooden poster that I got from Halloween, and my little Magic Potions, Charms, and Poisons book thing, because it's adorable. Next up is the rest of my classics, so it goes in order of, or actually it used to go in order of date, but now it's just mostly height organized. I have my Frankenstein on display because it's beautiful. And then the bottom shelf here is my literary fiction, adult fiction, and in the corner there on the side with Rapunzel sitting on it are my poetry and short story collections. Moving on here, this used to be the lamp that was beside my desk, and these are all of my older editions. So half of them are books that I got from my grandmother, slash some antique editions of books that I got while I was in England. And then I have my Longest and Chloe, Wordsworth poems, Little Prince, and Hamlet. These aren't old editions or anything, but they are just teeny tiny, so I keep them on this little stack. This is my TBR cart now back in its original position when I first got it. On the very bottom, I have my Egypt books that I've been collecting since I was a small child. And then I have Jean's Greek myth book and my handbook for fairies. And then to the left are actually school books that I borrowed from the library over a year ago and haven't been able to return since COVID. And the top is my monthly TBR, so this is what I still have left to get through in May. And then I moved the other lamp right beside my desk, and this is where I'm keeping my Harry Potter collection. And then, yeah, it's just the reading chair and everything. I'm obsessed. I can't get over how much I love this room right now. Yeah, it's gorgeous, and I'm obsessed. thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little mini vlog of me reorganizing my office and my bookshelves. I'm just obsessed. Like, look at that. It's just so beautiful. If you guys want to see an updated, like, full-blown bookshelf tour, please let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really does support my channel. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I put out new bookish videos every week. Thanks again so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye-bye.